My bank account became a source of entertainment rather than anxiety once I stopped funding other people's dreams at the expense of my own reality. The money that had disappeared into Laurel's lifestyle upgrades now pays for things that bring me actual joy instead of obligation-based gratitude. Last month, I bought a massage chair that cost more than 3 of my old birthday checks combined. And I use it daily while reading books I choose because they interest me rather than because someone recommended them to earn points for thoughtfulness. My Tuesday watercolor class provides therapy that decades of family guilt never offered. The instructor treats my artistic attempts with the same respect she shows younger students, never suggesting that my age limits my potential for creative growth. My paintings aren't masterpieces, but they belong entirely to me, created for my pleasure rather than as gifts for people who might display them out of politeness rather than genuine appreciation. The studio smells like possibility and patience, 2 things that had been missing from my life longer than I'd realized. The neighborhood treats me differently now that I've become the woman who refused to be manipulated by her own daughter. Mrs. Peterson brings me soup when I'm feeling under the weather, not because she feels sorry for the lonely widow, but because she respects someone who stands up for herself when family relationships turn toxic. The mailman asks about my art classes, the grocery clerk remembers my name, and the pharmacist discusses my medications like medical information rather than symptoms of attention-seeking behavior. My volunteer work at the Millbrook Women's Shelter connects me with people rebuilding their lives after escaping situations where love became weaponized against their self-worth. The younger women sometimes express amazement that someone my age chose freedom over family obligation, as if wisdom automatically comes with wrinkles and arthritis. I share my story not as advice, but as evidence that it's never too late to stop accepting unacceptable treatment from people who claim to love you. Grocery shopping has transformed from budgeting exercise to personal pleasure cruise, through aisles where I buy ingredients for meals I want to eat rather than care packages for people who treated my cooking like charity work. The organic strawberries that once seemed too expensive for my fixed income now fill my cart alongside imported cheese and bakery bread that costs more than I used to spend feeding myself for 3 days. Every purchase feels like voting for my own happiness with dollars that previously funded other people's ingratitude. My decision-making process operates on entirely different principles now that guilt no longer serves as my primary consultant. When the community theater invited me to audition for their production of Steel Magnolias, I said yes because the idea excited me rather than no because Laurel might need me to babysit her financial emergencies. The rehearsal schedule doesn't accommodate anyone else's expectations, and my performance will be judged on artistic merit rather than maternal adequacy. The redefinition of family expanded beyond blood relations to include people who demonstrate care through actions rather than demand it through manipulation. My chosen family includes Dorothy from the shelter who brings me soup when I'm sick, Marcus from the theater who helps carry my props, and Beth from art class who remembers my birthday without expecting expensive gifts in return. These relationships operate on reciprocity rather than obligation, creating connections that energize rather than drain me. My energy levels increased dramatically once. I stopped walking on eggshells around people who treated my feelings like inconvenient obstacles to their financial security. The constant calculation of whether my words might jeopardize their willingness to accept my money had been exhausting in ways I hadn't recognized until the burden lifted. Conversations became authentic exchanges rather than careful performances designed to maintain access to someone else's financial resources. The house feels different now that it serves as my sanctuary rather than a staging area for sending care packages to people who viewed my efforts as obligations rather than expressions of love. Harold's cardigan still hangs in the bedroom, but now it represents cherished memories rather than evidence of my inability to move forward. The garden produces vegetables I enjoy rather than extras I package for shipment to recipients who never requested them. My reflection in the bathroom mirror shows someone I recognize rather than the anxious woman who spent years trying to purchase love through financial sacrifice. The face looking back has lines earned through genuine laughter rather than stress wrinkles from walking on eggshells around ungrateful relatives.